you must be consistent with the rules. What rule says the candidate, if they choose to, I mean, it must be his prerogative, not yours. If he chooses to come out clean, let it be. Don't make a ruling that is not consistent with the rules. We're suffering serious confidence questions in the public about protecting information. If Reverend Chikane wants to tell us, give him an opportunity to do so.
Point taken.
You are doing this for the second time and it's wrong.
Point taken. All I said is he's not forced to
You said you think he must not do it.
No.
So I'm cautioning you, be consistent with Parliament rules.
Correct.
Thank you.
Point taken.
Yeah.
You don't need to do that.
Thank you. I would like to start.
Okay, before you go, just take all the questions.
If you make notes, we just do all the follow-ups and then you address it one time. The Zondo Commission saw the then Minister of State Security attempt to forbid the acting head of State Security from giving evidence, and that attempt failed, went to court and failed, and indeed attempted to stop the IGI from giving evidence. They'd both been subpoenaed. Would you have backed off with a ministerial instruction, or would you have given evidence at the commission? Now, moving on to the actual role of the IGI, it makes you incredibly unpopular. It's an adversarial relationship. The three ministers, from what I've seen, usually end up disliking you intensely. The three DGs, they're all trying to protect their own units, which you now have to go and do oversight over. So how will you deal with the inevitable attacks? I mean, I'm sure you've seen the various things that have been done to the current IGI. How would you deal with that, the aggression that comes with the position? And I think let's look at the leaks to the newspapers. They've been going on for some 2 years. You've never seen state security on the front pages as much as you have over the past 2 years, week after week after week. Now, have those revelations damaged the three entities, state security, defense, crime intelligence, or have they enhanced transparency? What's your take on that?
Leaks.
The leaks from within to the newspapers.
Any other follow-up, Honorable Mima?
Thank you, Chairperson. Just one follow-up question from myself. Around 2005-2006, Reverend, Project Avani. I want to believe that it might be familiar with you. Could you just probably make a reflection on this project and the work that the intelligence did on this project to clearly delineate areas that falls under legitimate intelligence gathering and the abuse of the intelligence gathering that was identified by the IGI then in relation to the use of Project Avani to advantage contenders in the NC battle. Thank you.
Any other follow-up? Over to you, Reverend, and Honorable Mimang, you, Mike.
Yeah, Chair, I appreciate the fact that you don't have enough time, so I'm going to be as brief as I can. On the project Avani, I don't remember the details, but you find the same referred to in that panel report as well. It is totally unconstitutional and illegal. You can't use intelligence to promote a party. Even if it's yours, you love it, but it's illegal. And you can't use intelligence to promote contenders within a party. The law is very clear. It outlaws that completely. The white paper says so as well. So the sooner we get intelligence officers to understand that, the better. And I would like to take it to the second question of Honorable Ndlozi about, that Ramaphosa, Matthews, and Posa. I mean, I was there, and I heard about it. I mean, there was nothing official that was happening in the office. It happened outside there. And you had these peddlers of information. We had lots of that stuff coming through from mailing and all that. And you can act on information that has not been tested. And when I got to know about it, I said, but have you tested it? You know what I'm talking about. Where is the intelligence? What's the story? And you found that it is a story from somebody from Mpumalanga or something like that. I mean, it was wrong. Whether there was an abuse of power, I've not investigated who was doing what at that time, because it happened outside. It wasn't actually happening within the government. So, but whatever the case, anybody would use intelligence to stop somebody becoming a president. It's violating the law and against the Constitution. On the leaks, ma'am, I would, Honorable Kola Barnett, you can't have leaks from the intelligence services. It's just not on. There are procedures to deal with abuse or corruption. There are processes. And so once you end up having leaks from intelligence services, then you are in trouble, because people who give you information will feel that they are vulnerable. And remember also the sharing of information between intelligence services with other countries. So if you are given intelligence services and you reveal the sources, you make the people who give the information vulnerable. But there's a way of dealing with it. Within the intelligence services into the IGI, you can complain to the IGI and give the IGI information. And the IGI would deal with it in terms of the law. That's all I can say about that particular matter. The becoming unpopular in attacks, I think I've experienced this. I don't work on the basis of popularity. Fortunately, I never got into politics for being elected and therefore compromise everything about your life for the sake of a position. My stance has been very clear. If something is wrong, it is wrong. And it doesn't become right because you are my friend. It's or you are my comrade. Even if you are my comrade, if it's wrong, it is wrong. And so, no, I would not. I definitely will be unpopular, but I would be happy to be unpopular because of corrupt people. Even if they throw me out, I will go out clean because I've stood for the truth and the Constitution. the issue about the Zondo Commission who asked about it, it was whether or not, what would I have done? I read it again, about that, and the law is very clear. I can only make an example of what I had to do. The court, unfortunately, it had to do with the Zuma case. The court wanted minutes of cabinet that this decision was made. There's nothing secret about the decision, but it's the minutes. And it will answer partly Honorable Ndlozi's question. When I was asked, the court said we want an affidavit from the Secretary of Cabinet. And I did that affidavit. You remember the case was moved away from the Constitutional Court back to the Appeal Court. And then somebody in the leadership came and said to me, you can't submit that affidavit. And please don't ask me who that person is. And then I went, the president was President Motlanthe. I went to him and said, President, I have a task as Secretary of Cabinet, and my job is to do an affidavit. You know what I'm talking about? It's my job. If somebody says, you as the president are the only one who can instruct me to not to do that, but you'll have to give me a reason why I shouldn't. And it has to be within the law. And he was leaving for Latin America, and he said to me as he sat on his chair in the car, Reverend, do the right thing. And I went to do the right thing. And I paid a price for that because there were very angry people because I did that. And so it would, for me, the law is very clear. You would consult with the minister and the president. But the two of them say they did so. You know what I'm talking about? They did so. But somebody says they didn't. Now, I can't judge, but I would say ultimately, the president is the ultimate. If the president said yes, I will do it. If it's the right thing to do. By the way, I won't do something that's not right just because I want to. Ntate Ndlozi, the recycling that I would like to challenge you that we walk in the morning. So so I'm not being recycled. I said, people who asked me to come back to government, I said, no, I won't come back to government. The only time I will come back is if I'm needed and if there's a task to be done, and I'll go and do it. So if the committee thinks I'm the right person to do it, I'll go and do it. But I'm not looking for a job. So it's not like I'm in trouble. I'm not in trouble, actually. And so it will be a task I have to do because the nation thinks that I can help. If the nation doesn't need it, I'm fine because it's not as, actually I don't want to compete with other people. I think it will be if you think we should do it. On the first question about Zuma, what was it about? About Zuma.
Just clarify that, Honorable Ndlozi.
The suicide letter the departed wife.
Thank you. Ntate Ndlozi, I've written about it. I've done press conferences about it. It's on record. There was no leaked document You know, President Zuma, it's historically a friend of the family. When I looked for my brother, who was away in exile for more than 10 years, and we couldn't find him because I was under surveillance. When I became General Secretary, I said to the organization, I want to see my brother. The person who brought my brother is Comrade Zuma in Harare. And when Komati happened, they removed him and my brother was infiltrated in. So we don't have an enemy relationship. The reality is, Chair, if I can say it again, the reality is Mama Kate decided to commit suicide, but called me before she died. And I said, I'm in a meeting, I will come in there during lunch. She said, you'll find me dead. So I stopped the meeting and went there. And she got the child to pull out the suicide note to give it to me. And now the police investigate. You can't hide a suicide note. So, and they were investigating the Deputy President Zuma. So I said to him, Comrade, why do you let the police investigate? I mean, this is a suicide case. Let's give them the letter. I got it, you know, and there are witnesses when I got it. So it's not secret. And so we agreed. And so I did. There was no leaked letter. Then because you do a post-mortem, that letter will be part of the documents. Then it goes public. And those who want to campaign against you say, you leaked a document. How do you leak a document through an inquest? And so as you know, the son tried to get into this thing. And you remember my answer? Ask your father. You know, because your father knows exactly what happened. So, and in the funeral, I didn't give details because I couldn't. But I had the suicide note. So this is a sensitive matter that's so painful. It's so painful, and it gets repeated all over again when you are past it. But we just resuscitating it, it causes pain for the children, even those who are too young, you know, to talk about it. But Markate chose to give me the note, and he sent the son to pull it out of the drawer to give it to me. And she was not alive by the time she reached the hospital. On the issue of veterans, not that it won't help you at all. I talk to veterans, we consult, and I don't think names would matter in this regard. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. We are 10 minutes over the time. Reverend, the very last thing. You comment on the whole process. If you need to say something to the panel about the whole process, it's your time now.
Chair, I'm okay because I can't go and complain about this process. So I won't cause you trouble. I deal with hard things in life, so it's not for me an issue. I just want to say, Chair, even one of my sons said to me, Dad, why do you want to get yourself into this? And I said that if it will save the nation, I'll do it. You know, because I think if anybody has missed the point that we are at a critical stage in the life of this country, then, you know, you'll wake up one day and find that we are all on the run. Because, Chair, if you can allow me, when I read that change of moving away from a democratic constitutional state democracy to a security of the state, which then retools intelligence officers to serve interest of individuals. We are back to the apartheid days, because that's really the system that we fought against. And so that's all I would like to say. I'm here and available to serve. If the committee decides otherwise, I'm happy, because I continue with my life. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we can release the Reverend. Do we have any announcement? 9 o'clock tomorrow. And not 8, 9 o'clock. I think 9 o'clock went through. So I think we can...
I can go ahead away with my...